Yeah, time now for us to do our regular catch-up with our friends at AGBI. Make sure you get yourself onto the website to find out all the latest content and insight from the AGBI team. The tech editor is Carla Sertin, who's been kind enough to join us live in studio this morning. Carla, always good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
So let's talk social media wars. Not so much media wars, but social media wars. You've been looking at some detail at this one, specifically Twitter or X versus the new upstart Bluesky. Elon Musk took ownership of Twitter back in 2022. He did so with the help of Saudi Arabia's Prince Al Walid bin Talal and Kingdom Holding, of course, who whacked in a load of cash, put in nearly $2 billion of the eventual price. Plus there was the QIA, the Qatar Investment Authority, as well, handed over $375 million. So there is a Middle East angle to this battle at the moment. What are the main factors that are going to determine whether these two entities can coexist or whether Bluesky will fly?
Well, first of all, Bluesky is doing really well globally. It's surpassed 20 million users. It's just not growing as quickly in the region. And there's a few reasons for that. In part, it doesn't really have Arabic language support. That's obviously going to be a really big obstacle to overcome if you want to get the audience here. However, there are also huge opportunities for Bluesky. Studies show there was actually a 2019 survey by Northwestern University in Qatar, which found that 40% of Gulf nationals would change their social media use on privacy concerns. So people here are very concerned about how their data is being used, their privacy. So 50% of people from that survey also said that they were worried their personal information would be used without their consent. So Bluesky, which is a decentralized network, meaning that its data isn't held in any one spot, has an advantage in that front. It also allows you to host your own data, so you don't even have to put your data on its servers. So if you're someone who's extremely concerned about where your data is being held, if it's going to be used by third parties, this might be that's a point of appeal. Still, it hasn't really gotten that foothold in the region yet. Even with all of this, it still hasn't gotten that foothold. One part of that is just there aren't enough people on there. If you look at the way people use Twitter in this region, a lot of it is for reacting in a crisis. Like you mentioned Lebanon in one of your headlines. A lot of Lebanese people would use Twitter to know immediately, okay, what's going on? Do I need to evacuate now to hear that there's a ceasefire going on? So if you don't have a network of journalists, of citizen journalists, of even just your friends, your family, of all those close network already on Bluesky, it's going to be difficult to make a case for why you should be there. So that's on an individual level. And on a business level, leaving your already established audiences on Twitter, X, for a completely
Glad it's not just me.
Yeah, no, it's not just you. It's not just you. For a completely new platform, that's difficult. We've talked to industry insiders, and businesses are not yet seeing the value of shifting over to Bluesky.
Let's talk X if we can, because we just pointed out, and you've written about this, the investments, the Middle Eastern investments into X from the off, and backing Elon Musk back then. So therefore, obviously, a vested interest in the success of X. But then does it go further than that? Is the success of X or the continued success of X important to the Middle East?
Well, certainly, at least from that investment perspective. So if you actually look at the investments, X, first of all, is not a listed company, so we don't have full access to its financial disclosures. But reports estimate that Kingdom Holding has lost approximately $1.4 billion on its investment since 2015. And that Qatar has lost approximately $270 million. So yeah, there's definitely an interest here to keep propping X up. And one of the factors as well, that we'll see, one of the defining factors will be, Donald Trump. When he's back in the White House, if he gets back to tweeting, certainly his detractors and his supporters will follow. People want to know what he has to say and what he's going to do next. The main complication there is he has his own social media platform now, Truth Social. So we don't know if he's going to continue to champion Truth Social or if he'll get back to his roots on X.
So how can X survive? As you mentioned, if it's potentially losing money, as again we don't know, we haven't seen the accounts, but that's the suggestion. Advertisers we know are leaving at the moment. We know that followers are also leaving. What defines its survival?
Well, I do think the Trump presidency will have quite a bit to do with that. I think followers will flock back if he becomes more active on X, but advertisers may also flock back. As we've seen, Musk and Trump have an increasingly close relationship, with Trump taking a role on the Department of Government Efficiency. So, advertisers may come back to Twitter just to curry favor with Trump through Musk. So that may be a strategy as well for X.
You've looked at this exodus, if you like, the X to Bluesky move as well. I mean, does that come in different guises? Yeah, we talked about followers. Yeah, we've just talked about the fact that advertisers are also looking for other opportunities. There are other social media channels available. I mean, are we seeing employees from X looking for other opportunities at the moment as well?
That would be difficult for me to say. There's definitely, we know that there have been slashes in jobs at X for quite some time. Would be difficult to say that if they're moving towards Bluesky or towards other social media platforms. I would also note, though, Threads tried to take on X. We remember that. We all started a Threads account. Where did that go? So for Bluesky, I think the determining factor will be whether or not it's able to continue building on that growth. Great, you have the momentum. Is it going to build in new features that are going to differentiate it from X, that are going to build on its success, and that will allow it to avoid the pitfalls that X has faced?
Advertisers might be pulling. Investors, are we likely, especially given the continued success and the rise of Elon Musk, are we likely to see Arab investors pulling out of X?
It seems unlikely. In fact, just this May, both Kingdom Holding and some Dubai investors took part in a $6 billion round for Musk's AI startup, XAI, indicating some level of trust in both Musk and the X umbrella. So I would be surprised to see them pull out now.
And just from your sort of professional opinion, because again, a lot of those not in the know and not technology editors of a leading business website and platform here might be going, where's Bluesky come from? Wow, it's sort of just exploded. It's just taken us by surprise. Obviously, it hasn't. It's been there for a while. But is this just the first of many? Will there be many more, do you think, that could challenge the big social media platforms?
I think many more will try. It depends on the approach they take. I think that's the interesting part with Bluesky, is the fact that it's decentralized. It's promised no ads and no data mining. So if new platforms rise that offer some differentiating factors, things that we haven't seen from the big guys, and address the concerns that people have with platforms like Meta, is my data safe? Is my data being used without my consent? If there are platforms that can challenge those, there's a possibility we see a new era of social media. There's absolutely possible.
Carla, always good to have you. Great to catch up as well. If people want to read your latest articles, best way for them to do that?
Head to agbi.com.
Get yourself on there. Carla Sertin is the technology editor for AGBI, joining us live here in studio. This is the Business Breakfast.
Dubai Eye 103.8.
Join the conversation.